Valerie, you have been looking at the different party manifestos. Does the National Rally even have an environment policy as such?
Well, the party's manifesto does not mention climate change or net zero targets. It does mention the environment, but through the angle of environmental norms, which they argue penalize economic growth. And you find the same language of so-called punitive norms that they have used in the past. And the National Rally, they pledged, and I quote, to defend the quality of life of French people by rejecting all punitive ecology. Now, what you see there on the screen are some key energy-related proposals that the National Rally has put forward. Some of them, environmentalists fear could weaken France's climate ambitions, at least two of them. The first one being to lower VAT on all energy products from 20% to 5.5%. So that includes fuel, energy, electricity, gas, and heating oil, which in a way could be used as a tool to promote fossil fuels. They also plan to invest in hydrogen, geothermal energy, and also nuclear reactors. Now, when it comes to hydrogen and geothermal, those are two things that are currently in development, but nothing shows that they could be deployed on a large scale in France at the moment. And nuclear reactors, before they are actually built, nuclear reactors is going to take years before we have them. And they also, more importantly, they also plan to end subsidies for wind power projects and even cancel all projects, bearing in mind that solar and wind power, they make up 15% of France's power generation, and they also help avoid 22 million tons of carbon dioxide every single year.
Okay, so that's for the far right, the National Rally. The left-wing New Popular Front has in it the Green Party, so I assume their policies are very different.
Yes, the climate and biodiversity are very much present in their manifesto. They recognize the threat of climate change in their manifesto. They also plan to implement a climate strategy to achieve climate neutrality by 2050. They don't provide more specific targets, though, when it comes to how they plan to get there. That being said, they are very much explicit about renewables. They have this plan to make France a leader in marine renewable energies with the development of tidal energy as well and offshore wind, bearing in mind that France does lag behind its European neighbors when it comes to offshore wind, with just 3 gigawatts of wind generation compared to 8 gigawatts in Germany, for example. And those are some interesting proposals that I found in their manifesto, one of them being recognizing ecocide as a crime. They also have a proposal to end the banks financing fossil fuel companies developing new fossil fuel projects. And they also have this idea of supporting the creation of an international court for climate and environmental justice. So those are usually proposals that you see put forward by NGOs, nonprofits. So it's quite interesting to see that they actually made it into this official manifesto.
Now, President Macron's government has come under fire in recent years for actually backtracking on some of its environmental policies and not just doing enough to address the climate crisis. So what's their position now moving forward?
Well, together in their manifesto, they cite the environment and climate change as being one of the key challenges facing the country. They pledge to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 55% by 2030. So this is as part as EU-wide targets. It's not a new target. It's the current target that France is following. But they do provide more specific details. And I guess that's the advantage of being, the party in power as of a few hours ago. So they plan an additional reduction of 20% by 2025. And although they have come under fire, as you said, the country has achieved a 6% reduction in emissions last year. And so that is something that they were quite keen on highlighting in their manifesto. Not a huge focus on renewables, unlike the New Popular Front. The manifesto reiterates reiterates the party's support for nuclear power. Again, they go into more specifics, unlike the National Rally, which is also in favor of more nuclear power. They do say that they plan to build 8 new reactors in the future, and that thanks to a law that passed in 2023. And just very quickly, something interesting as well, in their manifesto, they plan to help French people buy electric cars with a promise of offering 100,000 electric cars as part of a social leasing that is already in place in France that has proven quite successful. They want to expand that in order to help middle class, more working classes actually have access to electric cars.
All right, Valerie, thanks so much for that. That's our environment editor, Valerie DeKimp there.